Hey there guys, we're taking a look at Warframe running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U. Now this is paired with 16 gigabytes of RAM and the game is currently running at 1080p with the lowest graphical preset. Now the performance that we're getting here is a little all over the place. Right now the averages look pretty solid, but our 1% lows are pretty rough, and it really just comes down to the fact that there will be moments of occasional stutter. So 1080p is doable here, but you will have just moments where it doesn't feel great, but for the most part it's relatively fine. Honestly, I really wouldn't say that it's a bad experience, just not the most ideal scenario. And it's those moments where things really start to stutter, that things kind of get rough. You can see sometimes in the frame times there that things kind of get a little hectic. They start to kind of bounce up and down a little bit, but you'll see that the 1% lows are recovering because the stutters are infrequent enough. You will just occasionally see a little spike here and there in the frame time. Overall though, it's not a bad experience. We can improve this a little bit though by dropping the resolution down to 900p. You don't need to go down to 720p. It's just a little bit of a reduction that actually makes a huge difference. And let me show you what kind of a difference that actually makes. And the numbers that you see here should pretty much convince you that, yeah, no, it's probably for the best to actually just turn things down to 900p because we get a completely different experience. The other settings were very playable for the most part. I mean, no one's going to say that a 70 FPS average is going to be bad. Just those 1% lows kind of drag things down a bit. But here, just going down to 900p, we are now looking at a above 60 FPS experience. We are in the 90s of FPS for the 1% lows. 95 FPS 1% lows, FPS averages of 136. Pretty much ended up playing this a lot just because it was such a smooth experience. I was kind of just like watching a Twitch stream off on the side while playing this, and out of nowhere the hours went by just because it's such a good experience. And this is what I'm used to Warframe feeling like, because I've played Warframe a little bit before. It's not a game that I've sunk a lot of hours into, but it is one that every time that I have played I've enjoyed, and this here is that experience that I'm used to. Everything is super smooth, everything's very responsive, it just feels great. And if you have a 144 hertz monitor, you're going to be able to fully utilize that, and you're going to be able to have a really great time. And this is a completely different world of performance compared to where we were at 1080p. So I definitely recommend just dropping things down to 900p. You don't need to go down to 720p. 720p is going to be very unnecessary. 900p is all you need. It's going to make a whole world of difference for you, and it's not going to look too bad. It's just a little bit blurrier than it would be at 1080p, and I'm willing to take that if it means we get this level of performance compared to where we were at 1080p. It's honestly a pretty stark difference that I really just think that most people are going to be happy with this compared to where we were at 1080p. So I definitely recommend doing that instead. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.